Welcome to the Forged in the Fires podcast with Fireman Rob, where resilience meets reality. Hosted by Fireman Rob, a firefighter, Ironman athlete, and mental health advocate. This podcast is your destination for stories that inspire, motivate, and ignite change. Each episode features incredible guests who face life's toughest challenges head on, sharing their journeys of courage, perseverance, and triumph. From first responders to world-class athletes to everyday heroes, these are the stories that remind us all of the strength we have within. Get ready to forge your own path, because here, we don't just overcome, we rise above. This is Forged in the Fires with Fireman Rob.
All right, welcome back to Forged in the Fires podcast. I'm your host, Fireman Rob. Today's guest, I have known for a long time, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And, you know, she is a very powerful woman who has created many great things for other people, lots of great content, has found her voice, has created this new and dynamic person. And that person is Amy Nubson. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. What a wonderful introduction. I couldn't have planned it better myself.
Well, you did write it. No, I'm just kidding. No, this is kind of cool to be able to interview you. You and I have been working together with coaching, with all sorts of different collaboratives just recently, which is the coolest thing. The children's books, Amy and Avery, they both helped so much to be able to get that to be fruition. That was a 10-year project that just came to fruition. And Amy, I want to go back. Though. I give you accolades there, but I want to go back because people need to know the power in which you developed yourself. Take me back a few years to who Amy was, like the marketing company that you developed, all these kind of things. Take me back to that person that you were. Yeah, were is the key.
That were, but it's still successful, but were, right?
Right.
What I realize now, looking back where I didn't know it even when I was there, was I was kind of a shell of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was this person who was existing, who was doing everything right, what I was supposed to be, but yet had no real spark, for a better word. You know,
Right.
Like I did, you know, I met the right people, I did the right work, I did what I was supposed to do, but I also love to hide. I got to hide behind everybody else's projects.
Yeah.
I got to showcase everybody but myself, and I was so comfortable with that. Like, and then, you know, the idea of speaking out loud about me was like, oh no.
Right.
I will go back over here in the corner and let's talk about you.
Yeah.
You know, that was my enjoyment, you know, of showcasing others and just hiding myself. And it just worked until it did.
Right. But what was that feeling? Like what, you know, because I think a lot of people can relate to that, of that feeling like I'm involved in my job. I'm successful. I'm happy. But is that truly the happiness that you had, or was that a success that just brought kind of not what you were looking for?
It brought success, but it also brought stress.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like I
Totally.
didn't wake up enjoying my day going, oh my God, I can't wait to do what I do.
Right.
I was like, okay, how do I would wake up and go, okay, I can do this.
Convincing yourself.
Yes. Like I was like, you know, and I was in that place of emotion of like always going, God, you sounded stupid in that meeting. Like there was always this sense of judgment too that was happening constantly in my head. Like, you should have charged more. Why didn't you charge more? Or,
Right.
oh my God, that was a silly comment. Like it was always an over analyzing of what I did.
Right.
What was I providing? I should have done more, better. And it was always that sense of tension within myself.
Right.
And it just never was satisfying.
what brought to surface, like what was it in your mind, like when you and I would talk, what
Yeah.
was it that kind of triggered that feeling of starting to have your voice not only heard by others but heard by yourself?
It got to the point where it was so painful. Like I just couldn't exist the way I was continuing. Like I was done. I'm like,
Right.
there's got to be a better way. And that's when I started looking at myself,
Yeah.
taking care of myself. I started losing weight. I started eating healthier. I started exercising. I started really putting myself first. And I had never done that
Yeah.
my entire, well, I think I was like in my late 30s by this point.
So
And I just started thinking, like, what do I have to say? What do I stand for? Because I've adapted so many different ways. Who am I? Like, I don't even know anymore. I
a
was
lot
like,
of peeling of the onion.
yes, exactly. I've always been happy, cheerful, easy to get along with. That was on the surface. It was the chaos underneath
Right.
that was crumbling and needing more stability in myself. And it truly wanting to know me
Right.
is what drove that.
What does it mean to you? Because you've been in many different roles, you've helped many different people to have their voice, and then even after you found your voice, you fell sometimes back into that old way of Amy, but in a stronger way. But what does it feel like to have that feeling to say, no, I want to be able to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I just recently did it again where I was like, I did an event with a bunch of global women and mostly in Asia and Middle East.
Yeah.
And I'm doing storytelling with them. And I'm like, oh God, how can I do this? Oh my God, I'm nervous. Because in the moment, I hear their story and then I retell it back to them.
Right.
And it's, I was like, oh my God, like, I'm like, I can do this. This is what, you know, this would be fun.
Right.
And when I got out of that meeting, I'm like, that wasn't fun. That was like pure joy. That was my superpower. Like that was
Yes.
everybody's. And then talking to the facilitator later, she goes, oh, you are now known in the network as the magic lady. That magic lady that came in and told stories and helped us all read. Like, they're like, who was that again?
Yeah.
I was like,
That's so cool.
and I had a program to help develop stories and voices, and I buried it for about a year and a half. It's because I wasn't quite confident enough to be like, yes, I could do this. And I'm like,
Right.
nope, it's coming back out and it's coming full force this year. The storytelling, the course, everything.
How powerful is storytelling though, Amy? Because that was, I mean, when you and I talk, it's so powerful to have those stories because there's a lot of people think there's just stories, but there's meaning behind those stories. There's power and there's passion behind those stories. What does storytelling mean to you?
To me, when story is done right, it gives you a sense of, there's a sense of timing. Like you get to
Yeah.
command the attention that you're giving and delivering. You also get to tell your point in a way that's either entertaining, dramatic, surprising, but it's memorable. And what I found for me is it's trust building. And I was telling those women in the international, they're like, I remember my husband's grandma's like, do they speak English? I'm like, of course they speak English. Like, I didn't know how else to communicate with them, right?
Right, right.
And as I was telling them, I go, the lovely thing about stories is it has no boundaries. There's no, you don't have this language barrier. You don't
Right,
have this, oh, you can't understand this story because you're over here.
right.
Story is something very personal and vulnerable, but yet beautiful and expressive. And it can be done in such a short, like my favorite story is 5 minutes long at the most. And everybody's like, oh my God, tell me your hammer story.
Yeah, there it is. There
We
it is.
know it and ask for it now. It's
Right,
interesting. And that was a story you helped me craft, right? And develop.
right.
And I tell it all the time.
When you talk about storytelling, and this is the fun part because you developed your different storytelling ideas um, through your experiences, through your ideas of what can come forward. When you first started, and this is so funny because I don't think anybody knows your first podcast, that you were so afraid of the podcast, and nobody would even believe me if I said that now. But when you look at it now, as you're telling your stories, and the stories you started out with to the ones that you gravitate towards now, how have those changed? Because in the beginning, there were a lot of stories about the pain, the struggle, all that stuff. How did your stories that you tell, because it's powerful, how did those change?
Now they could be everyday situations. I was talking to somebody else and she's like, do you hear a story in everything? I'm like, yeah, but it has a point and a value to it. Why not?
Right.
It doesn't have to be big and dramatic and life changing and altering. Sometimes the best stories are something that are everyday, normal life that we can all relate to. And we devalue that because we think it needs to be grand, like it's on a movie set. And
Right.
it's not, it's life. It's messy, it's beautiful, it's chaotic, it's calm, all of those things.
That's such a great point of that we sometimes degrade. You said it perfectly. We devalue the stories of ours because others are bigger.
Yeah,
How would you tell somebody to live that story of their life or even start to live that story of their life? Um, because it's powerful to them to be able to tell their family or their coworkers or whoever it is that wants to listen. How can they start living that story and telling that?
a lot of it is we try to talk around the important part. We forget to dive into the part that actually inspires us or it has impact on us, and we walk around the whole idea. But when you start actually diving into what really matters and what inspires us, every time you tell a story in that same story, like I just light up. Like I can't even help it because it's like, that's right, I did this. Oh my God. It's like a reminder. I'm like, how far I've come. Like what else is gonna be like, guess what? You don't have a reminder on your calendar going, you did this. Hooray.
We
Like
should. That's a
we
great idea.
should. Like, but that's the thing. I'm telling those stories and I tell people, I go, they need to inspire you. If they don't, the story doesn't work.
Right. That's so
And
true.
and that's and I even had one lady who was like, well, I want to talk about being a dandelion. I'm like, no, can you explain why you want to be compared to a dandelion? And then the whole idea came and evolved into a whole sales pitch to a program about, hey, all you ladies out there that want to be dandelions. You be resilient. You replay, like can't try, go ahead, try to, dig me up and kill me. I'll just come right back stronger. Like it was fabulous,
That's
the
awesome.
idea of the dandelion, right? And we built that story around her because that's how she identified herself with.
How
And
powerful is it to you to be able to help build those stories to make that authentic person actually a reality?
well, I remember working with you with my stories, and I'm like, how did you know what to gravitate towards? You're like, ooh, wait, no, go to that. And I'm like, now as I get to do it for others, I'm like, ooh, I see that. Now that lit you up.
Yeah.
Tell me more. Go into this, and you just see their whole body language change. And the way they deliver it is more strong in their voice. And you're like, that
Yeah.
is what matters.
Yeah.
That is worth everything to see that transformation in the mere seconds.
Right. It's so cool to be able to see that. And then like you have a course curriculum that's unbelievable. I hope, is that still in forefront?
Yes, it is
Good.
coming back in full force. Yes.
Tell me more about that because I want people to understand. Like, one, I want you to tell them how you built it because it's so valuable for people to understand. And I think this is something I want you to talk to us about first is how valuable is it to have materials that you built out of your passion and your experiences and your stories? How powerful is that for you and how important is that?
I've made so many curriculums over my years as a marketer, as a coach, helping people with their coach. And in the past, I used to make curriculum thinking like, what would people want? Or how can I express this easily? Or it was done a different way. But with Express Your Story Masterclass, this is all about crafting a story that can be utilized in so many different ways. We think if we're going to do storytelling, we have to be on the stage.
Right.
And that is not true. I use it all the time in networking. I use
That's
it
so true.
when I'm doing sales pitches. I use it in sometimes I use it. I used it when I was in a room full of ski moms with my niece's ski team. And I'm like, I don't know how to relate to these people. And all of a sudden somebody opened the door and I'm like, oh, I have a story. And all of a sudden people found me more interesting.
Yeah.
So just being like, I'm the awkward not parent in the room.
Right.
You know? So it can be utilized in so many different areas of my life that I find like I can handle whatever room I'm in because there's always a story I can tell. And that's what I started creating this curriculum around is it's not necessarily you're going to hone this story word for word, verbatim. This is exactly how you're going to pitch it. You taught me that. Like, that is not an effective way.
Right.
Especially for me, I'm like, I fail miserably that way. But the idea is, what is the passion and how are you telling it? And why are you telling it? Always remember that. And so the curriculum goes through of like, how do you start developing even a mini story?
Right.
That is tellable over and over again. And that's actually enjoyable to tell.
I love that. I love that. That's so powerful. And to come from where you were to where you are now, and I always wanted you to remember this. And how important is it for people when they're in their journey to not just reflect on where they are now, but where they came from?
So important because I guess we're creatures of short memory,
Yeah.
and we have to be reminded of, like, my God, yeah, I did this. This is my life. This is how I took charge of it. This is how I fell apart. Like
Right.
all of that matters because it created who I am today. And I would never, ever give up the chaos, the tragedy, none of that. I would never give it back up because without it, I don't know who I'd be.
Right.
And I need to sometimes be reminded. And so I could be grateful for the opportunity to show up stronger, more powerful, and engaged in life.
Right. What does it look like? Because I think a lot of people nowadays are so fixated on instant gratification. When you look at like rebranding yourself, rebranding who you are, what does that look
Mhm.
like when it comes from that instant gratification? Because it's not there. But
It's
how do
not
you
there.
continue to go?
Oh my God, this journey took me forever. It felt like,
But
three
worth it.
years. It was so worth it. It took me like 3 years to really figure this out, to dive into this and do this with help, without help, all of it. And again, the journey is part of the process.
Yeah.
The journey is what makes everything worth it. If it was instant gratifying, I don't think I would have valued it as much as I have. I'm so calm in who I am because of it. I'm also very dedicated to it. Like my clarity, courage, and confidence. Those are the three words that define my life, and I live them
Yeah.
every day. And when I stop living them, that's when I'm out of flow. That's when I'm out of balance. And I step back and go, what happened? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's it. Just got to get back into this. Really sets my stage right. I don't know. It's not I don't think I'd want it to be instant gratification.
Yeah. And I think it's powerful to see you from that perspective of, in your process to find who you were, you truly found what you were. And that being of like that, when you talk about clarity, courage, and confidence, tell me a little bit more about that because it's so powerful to your story. But then like I even gravitate towards it because I hear those and I'm like, well, duh, that makes sense.
Yeah, and it's so simple. And every one of my programs, everything I offer, every joint venture I do, all has to do. And it's so funny. I've sometimes done joint ventures where I'm like, oh, basically it's clarity, courage, and confidence.
Not going to tell you, but it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, ooh, did that unconsciously. I do it unconsciously now.
Yeah.
But clarity of self, like, who am I? It's a lifelong journey to figure out who I am. And as I evolve, different things happen. It shows me more of it, more of who I am. I love it. Now it's like, oh, that was interesting. Why
Right.
I was in a meeting one time and I was being kind of attacked and I totally withdrew and I got defensive and I was like, well, that was interesting. I didn't expect myself to react that way. What
Yeah.
happened? And I had to analyze. I'm like, oh, okay. I felt very threatened. I shut down. Okay. And then I forgave like, that was okay because that's how my body reacted.
Right.
Fine. And then I actually removed myself from the group because I'm like, it's not benefiting me. So why am I staying in here?
See, that's so powerful. You can fire
Yes.
other people.
Yes, exactly. And that's the courage to take action.
Yeah.
My action wasn't I did it because felt like I was being bullied or anything. The idea was it's not benefiting me
Right.
to be in this group. And it's not part of my journey. I don't need this. And what I realized in that session where I felt like I was being attacked for my ideas is like, I am done participating. I am now going to lead.
Yeah.
It was a huge, powerful clarity moment that I took action on and removed myself from the group and go, you know what, I'm okay. You guys do you. I got other things to do.
Yeah.
And that's the confidence building. So that's the clarity, courage, and confidence. The confidence just keeps growing as I get these realizations and implement them. And what I've realized is the faster I implement them and take action on them, the more powerful and more confident I become.
It's crazy.
When I sit down and go, I don't know, should I do that? I don't know. Maybe it defeats the whole purpose, right?
Right. You almost get out of that. Like, talk to me about the process too, because the process of going from having that clarity, which gains that courage, which develops that confidence. Talk to me about the process, because that you just did a little bit, but I want it more, because I think people, when they see that, they can gravitate towards it and pinpoint stories in their life, like you're talking about, that'll associate.
Yeah, because so clarity, when I go through and I my best triggers are when I'm triggered, right? Like
Right.
I'm like, what just happened?
Right.
And then you analyze it, not in a way of judgment or, shaming yourself, but like, what happened? Why did I react that way? Was it a belief that I had? Was it a feeling that I had? And when I analyzed the room, I was actually holding up a mirror and they were threatened.
That's
I
right.
was
Yeah.
doing something they all wanted to do. And I had to take a step back and go,
Right.
oh, I now get it. And if I didn't have that reflection in that moment where I was trying to break down what had happened, I wouldn't have got that clarity.
Right.
And I would have been like, okay, did I not show up right? Did I not communicate right? Like you could go down this huge rabbit hole and
You're
blame
putting it all
yourself
on
for so
yourself.
many different things.
Right.
And it's not worth it. And what the next thing is like that courage to take action, that it was a simple email that says, I no longer want to be a part of the group. It
Right.
no longer works for me. And I did it in a very kind way. But the idea is it doesn't have to be giant action steps. It can be simple.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to leap off have a huge leap of faith. Like I do those too, but I choose when I'm going to do those.
Yeah, those are calculated in clarity.
Yes, they're intentional.
Yeah.
Because those are massive, oh crap moments,
Right.
that you have to now process different emotions as you're going through them. But I love small actions creates giant ripples.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I take a step forward, there is an impact I've made. And that impact typically is on myself and the people who are observing me around me.
Mm-hmm.
As I elevate, other people get inspired to do so as well.
Yeah.
And as I've been telling my story over and over again, my husband's like, I want to tell my story. And I'm like, why now? And he goes, because I've seen the impact and I've seen what it's done for you to share your story. And I want that.
That's huge.
That's why I think story does, is in watching people just elevate into confidence, is everybody around you wants to elevate with you.
Yeah. It's so powerful when you say it, and I want people to find check out the new fire. It's nufirecollective.com. You can find out so many more things about Rebrand You, about finding your voice, which is such a powerful thing, about the amazing marketing. How has it changed your marketing? That's what I want to know too. Like, how has it changed your marketing for both you and Avery to have that new kind of feeling of voice?
Yeah, your marketing becomes more intentional.
Yeah.
You know, it's more, and I do a lot more video than I ever did before. And I'll be on when I met Rob, like he's like, let's get on video. I'm like, no, you know, like I
It was
couldn't
like the
do.
plague.
And he's like, you don't even have to post it. I'm like, no. Like it
I
was
wish we could find that original video that you did.
oh my God, it was awful, right? It was poor, like I'm sweating, I'm shaking. It was awful, right? Now I'm doing four videos a month at the minimum and different videos for different reasons and showing up and I'm like, ooh, I messed up on that one. That's okay. That's fine. I'll keep going. You know, like
Right.
they're imperfect, perfect,
That's so
right?
awesome.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if that was a word that I said, but that's okay. It's fine.
It works. It
It
works.
works. Because the intention, the energy, all of that, I'm like, love it. That's the progression. And I do need to see back. I just did a whole list of how many videos I did last year. And I was like, whoa, considering remembering back when I was like, I told you no, flat out, I would not do a video.
Well, wasn't it like I want to say it was, can you do 4 30-second videos? It was 4 30-second videos. I mean, literally, you could have said hi, and that would have lasted about 5 to 10 seconds.
And I was, nope.
Nope.
It's like 3 sessions long. I think a month. I was like, I ain't able to try it.
Nope. Sorry, Rob, my camera doesn't work.
I know, I'm like, I had every excuse in the book for
Yeah.
that. Mm.
I love it. I love it. Well,
Yeah.
it's so awesome to see what you've created, and it's powerful for people to understand that not only you are a coach of speaking and telling a story, but you in essence created that for yourself, and that's what's so cool. Is like I think that's what the power of your coaching is. It's not just something you read; it's something you've done in your life. What does that mean when you help somebody else to find that?
Well, and that's the beauty. I do it even in my business coaching. They're like, oh, this is what you have to do. Or in marketing, you have to do this list. This is exactly what you need. And I go, what are you comfortable with right now?
Right.
Where is your personal goals? Does it fit them? Like I'm always constantly trying to find their narrative, their goals, their process, their comfort. And I'm like, where can we expand you out of your comfort zone just a little? Like, how can we keep moving towards this? The idea is it's they lead,
Yeah.
and it's because it's their story. It's not mine, and I have no right to influence it or change it or adapt it. I can give suggestions. I can help them maybe with some word choices. I can help them by letting them practice and go, oh my God, I felt that.
Yeah.
That was delivered great, but it's not mine to change.
I love that. That's so
And
powerful.
that's how all our marketing should be. It's how our business coaching should be. It's how our voices should be is it's yours.
I
Stop
love it.
apologizing for it.
I love it. Make sure you go to Nufire, and that's nufirecollective.com. You can find out more. Amy, you're not done yet. There's 3 questions I got to ask you.
Forgot
You
about
ready for
that.
question number one?
Okay.
If you could go back to your 18-year-old self and give yourself one piece of advice, what would that be?
Ooh, good question. Oh,
Too many.
yeah, I know there's so much advice there. Like, God, stop being I'd start saying play more
Yeah,
now. Like I was way too serious and way too much in my head
that makes
that
sense.
I just got in my own way so much.
That's crazy. That's so true. I love that. we get to adulthood and then we're like, okay, yeah.
No, this is more fun. I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. All right, the second one. Everybody goes through struggles and challenges in their life and they're dealing with. If you could give them two pieces of advice, two tips that they could incorporate into their daily routine, that they could incorporate into whatever they do each day to continue to move forward, what would those two tips be?
Get quiet. Like take time every day to sit in silence, to sit with yourself. That's where I learn so much about my anxiety or worries, because then I'm like, ooh, what's this? Or I let it go. Like I sometimes choose to explore it. Sometimes I just choose to sit in the silence, because in the silence it becomes my creativity. It comes to me and I get so many more ideas.
Wow.
It's just and the other one is a morning routine. Like I was never a morning person, and I'm like, I've started really adapting it, and everything's excelled so much faster by having a morning routine that I honor for my like, from exercising to mental health to water intake, like all of it.
Right.
And it's made such a difference, because what I do first is put myself first right away when I wake up.
That's awesome. I love that. I love that. All right, this last one's fun.
Yes.
If you could have coffee at a firehouse table, so in other words, no questions are off the table and you can ask anything, it's going to be answered, with three people, they can be deceased or alive, who would those three people be?
Really good question. And the fun thing about that would be like, you'd want three oddballs, like, random people that would
off
make
the walls,
off the crazy comments. And it would be like my great grandfather, who was, just ahead of his time and had a lot of limitations, being albino and living in Norway during Nazi occupancy. Like that would be really interesting.
Wow.
To see how he understood and adapted quickly before everything happened.
Jeez. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, would be good. I know another one would be fun. It would be like Albert Einstein, just the craziness of seeing like what an innovative thinker, and how you'd be like, I don't get it, but I like it.
I like your thinking. I like your thinking.
And it would be so much fun, like just to have, honestly, I don't know, like that was a good one. I'd have to have you, Rob. I'm sorry. It'd be fun.
I love it. I love it.
It would be so much fun having you at the table, just enjoying the conversation as it flowed out.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, this has been a great conversation. You're awesome. Make sure you go to nufirecollective.com. Amy has some amazing things. Have her come out and speak. At the same time, find your voice, because it's so important. Amy, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. This has been a pleasure.
All right, folks. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks for listening and supporting the Forged in the Fires podcast with Fireman Rob. Remember, don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast. And please share this episode with a friend or family member. To find out more about Fireman Rob, or if you have a question, go to www.firemanrob.com. Until next time, live your life forged in the fires.